or every time I do get a job, I become insanely paranoid that people are plotting to get me or they're out to get me. And I also become very homicidal, and I threaten to kill people, and I always end up in mental institutions, and I always get fired because people start to realize that there's something wrong with me, or that I'm a psychopath, or I get fired because I become so depressed and people start to think I'm so weird that they start spreading rumors about me. And I don't lose, well, sometimes I lose my job because I snap and scream at people. And nobody ever wants to hang out with me because I'm like the weird person. So I just live alone in the dark, and then I become sleep deprived because the real nightmare is the waking hours. So there's no point in existing, really. And then I thought, like, well, I would rather just be homeless, you know, instead of trying to make it work with the people. Because when you're really mentally ill, you really can't make it work with the people. When you're schizophrenic, or when you're psychopathic, or when you can't really function like humans do, you find yourself just drifting and just not really existing with them. And then they think you're weird. They don't invite you to things. And then you just get sad about that. And then people are laughing around you, and they're getting along, and they're discussing what they're going to be doing on the weekend, and you're not a part of that. It's a very lonely life. A lot of us who grew up in poverty, we experienced that very young. A lot of us who grew up with poor parents or mentally ill parents, we experienced that as well. Poverty, mental illness, trauma, they all are the same thing, it seems. You either come from it or you don't. You either understand these videos or you don't. And the only answer is to just drift and no longer be you. No longer be your past or your trauma, just forget you. And just be the present moment. Try to get around safe people. But there's not many safe people, so you just find yourself alone a lot. In your room, in a safe place. In the dark, where you could just be by yourself and create. Be alone. At least you're safe that way. Because nobody's judging you or making fun of you, or you're not scared of anybody. You're no longer rejected by people. You're just hiding. Hiding again. Most of us just spend our entire life hiding. By the way, if you can relate to any of these videos I make, I got 1 million of them. just go on my channel. Probably over 100 videos of me talking in the woods. And if you are really feeling lonely and you feel like nobody gets you or understands you, if you're mentally ill, poor, or if you have a family member or a friend that's mentally ill or poor, you might want to read the $2 book I wrote. It's an ebook on Amazon. I wrote it just for people who are mentally ill or poor, just that are feeling lonely. When they read it, they can feel less alone. They can feel like somebody understands them. I also wrote it for family members who have a mentally ill person or a very depressed person in their life, because once you read that book that I wrote, you'll understand your depressed child or your friend, and you'll understand what they're going through, because it's just about severe depression and what it's like to have the mind of a mentally ill, disturbed person. So buy the book if you're suffering, or if somebody around you is suffering. It'll help. I don't care about money, I just want to help people. That's why I make these videos. Because our community is... There's really... It's a bad life. I don't know how to fix it, man. I don't know how to fix it. Being present, the present moment, that's how to fix it. But I discussed that in yesterday's video about how even if you do that... Oh no, that was 2 days ago. Saturday video. Even if you do that, people still think you're mentally ill, because you're just walking around and you're just present and you're just looking at things, and people look at you like you're freaking crazy. And lately I've been scared of men, because I have this thing about me where I feel like men are angry, or they're not children, or they're not their true selves, where they're kind of like, they kind of all have this gimmick thing, and they kind of scare me. So I try to stay away from men, because I'm like, who are they and what are they living for? Do they even know what they are? Do you even know what they're living for? They seem very aggressive, like they're always walking a certain way. I don't even know if they know who they are. Women are safe, because they seem to be less angry. But I don't leave the house, you know. I only know the people on my block, and the men on my block seem more aggressive, and the women seem less hostile. So I guess you can't take my word for it, because I only see 7 people every week. I don't really leave my house. Starting to leave my house less, because I'm becoming less obsessed with working out and more interested in ice cream. And the more I eat ice cream, the more agoraphobic I get, because the more my gut biome gets kind of messed up, and the more I get like stomach and belly fat, and I want people to think I'm perfect, and if I'm not perfect, I can't have people see me, because I need to be perfect. And if I'm not perfect, I don't want humans to see me. You know, the other day, I felt connection with this person, and they wrote me first on TikTok, direct messaged me, and I wrote them back, and I got the sense that they weren't worshiping me, so I didn't want to have anything to do with them. I really like, if I'm going to like, I can't be with somebody if I feel like they're not going to worship me, because they might leave me or cheat on me, or you know, that's very scary for people with borderline personality disorder. We need to make sure that the person is absolutely head over heels in love with us, because if they're not obsessed and head over heels in love with us, there's a huge chance that they will leave us and cheat on us, and we always are worried. So we need to make sure that that person like loves us. Anyways.